to the Rambling Men Sports Podcast. As always, it is James and myself. So we're taking things a little slow this off season, or not even off season. This hiatus of sports. I think we've done a decent job. It could be better. But James, how's it going so far?
Man, it sucks not having any sports. I have literally nothing to look forward to. No entertainment during the day as far as articles and stuff to read. I mean, it's just lame, dude. And it's just, unfortunately, because everything's on hiatus, like, it's just the same things keep getting repeated on, like, you know what I mean? It's like they have to cling to, like, one or two stories in sports, and it just gets drug out. It's just an unfortunate time, man. There's no sports, and, there's obviously entire multi-billion-dollar companies dedicated to sports who have no content right now, so... I mean,
all in all, if you had told me we'd still be in this funk in June, back in March, you know what I mean? Back in March, if you had told me we'd still be in this funk in June, I would have said, like, the world would be going crazy. For the most part, I know it is getting crazy out there. Unrelated to sports. I meant more...
Do we know that for sure, though?
What?
What if it is sports? What if that's the problem here?
It very well could be. No, everyone's pent up, James. Everyone's pent up. We need some sort of a release. Like any kind of, sexual tension, you need that release. All right. So first things first, we do have to talk about, this was news yesterday or the day before, Brendan Brooks goes down with an injury. I know he's a big-time producer on your Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, so I'm going to let you take the floor first.
So unfortunate, man. It seems like it's like just setting up for another last year. You know what I mean? Just getting hurt. And listen. Obviously, if there's a position on my football team that I wouldn't mind getting hurt, it's probably guard. But Brandon Brooks, pound for pound, is probably the best player on the Philadelphia Eagles, and we don't have him anymore. So.
Yeah, it'd be different if it was your star left tackle or your star pass rusher or corner. Guard, you can kind of live without one. Not that you can live without a good guard, but you can get by, especially if you have a quarterback.
You can mask a guard.
Yeah.
You can mask a guard, which is nice, but it's like the Eagles went from having inarguably the best right side of the offensive line in the NFL to where are they at now? I mean, Jason Kelce, Brandon Brooks, and Lane Johnson are all
and if Jason Kelce went down, it'd be an entirely different story.
If it's Lane Johnson or Jason Kelce, it would be a bigger deal. It really would. Because first of all, we have less depth, good depth at those positions, and those positions are simply more important. So they have a couple developmental guys. Wouldn't surprise me if they sign like a veteran, but like I said, man, guard you can. Like I said, it sucks because Brandon Brooks is like probably the best guard in the NFL, but he's still a guard at the end of the day. So I think it's overcomable. But you could have pretty much got 4.5 yards of carry behind the right side of that line every time you handed the running back the ball. And that's not.
Yeah, and at the end of the world, it's not going to stop the Eagles from being a playoff team, in my opinion. It's not going to stop the Eagles from being the front runner to win the NFC East Division, in my opinion. You still got Carson Wentz. You still got Doug Peterson. And 4 out of the 5 positions now on the offensive line are still set. They'll be fine. It does suck. Wasn't he hurt last year?
Yeah, the year before last, he got hurt as well.
Okay.
Achilles.
I thought he got hurt also last year.
Achilles twice.
But not the end of the world. Moving on. We don't have a ton to talk about, but moving on. Baseball negotiations. Last time we spoke, I was like, we're heading in the right direction, only to have the players or the owners, whichever one it was, decline the previous deal. Now they've sent a few more proposals back and forth. Yesterday, I thought we had it done. I thought we had it in the works. Reports were coming out that they had the framework of a agreement, so to speak, done. Just kind of the X's and O's of the deal, and then that gets declined. The players have sent back a counter offer. Right now, it sounds like the biggest disparity is the amount of games. Players are wanting 70 games. Owners are offered 60. All this fucking fuss for 10 games.
I'm gonna
10
tell you right now,
games. 250 million. That's all it is. $250 million. The owners have that in their back pocket.
I'll give you my thoughts on this right now, and Clay Travis is the one who kind of solidified this for me. So, the MLB's fucked. They're fucked, dude. Like long-term fucked, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. First of all, baseball was already in a downward spiral, in my opinion, because they absolutely, positively refused to adapt, which I cannot stand. The MLB, or the NFL and the NBA adapt basically yearly. They'll take new rules, they'll do certain things. Like, baseball was already stuck in the past, and you were already only getting, at this point in 2019, or very recently, honestly, I only think a lot of baseball purists were watching baseball on TV and going to a bunch of games. Like you said, it was more of like a people would watch playoffs, people would go to games and have fun with their friends, but it was already a sport that was dying in popularity. And Clay Travis made a really good point. He said, baseball was my first love. I'm from Cincinnati, those late 80s, early 90s Cincinnati's teams. Like, people liked baseball back then, and all the way up through Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa kept it really interesting. But he said,
Which, by the way, did you watch that 30 for 30 on Sunday? I didn't either. I wanted to watch that.
I want to. So Clay Travis was telling a story about the baseball lockout in 1994, and he was like, baseball was literally my favorite sport until that lockout. They didn't play for an entire year, and I never got back into baseball the same that I did. I'm telling you right now, do you think they're going to get casual fans back after a year of not playing? I don't think they are.
It's such a shame. They had a prime opportunity to be the first major sport to come back, get eyes on baseball. And here's the thing. They got some talented players. Aaron Judge, Pete Alonso, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, all these different guys who are under 30 years old. And just starting to enter, not so much Alonso and Judge, although they're very good, but especially Trout and Harper are starting to enter the primes of their career. It's just crazy. They had a prime opportunity to get a product on the field by now, and they haven't. And they're letting this get in the way.
Yeah, dude, Manfred's dropping the ball, dude. Dude, you got to make it happen, because I'm telling you, dude, the people who are in the middle of the road on baseball, when they go a year without baseball, are going to be like, dude, fuck baseball. Straight up.
I agree.
I didn't even think of that until Clay Travis said it. And I was like, dude, that's a good point, man. People are going to go 18 months without baseball, and they're not going to care about it anymore.
I don't know about not care about it anymore, but it does hurt. I mean,
put it to you this way: I'm not going to care about it anymore.
I will. I will, but I'm a rare sport fan though.
Dude, baseball, just like Clay Travis, was my first love too, man. You paused up on me, Shane. There you are. My bad.
Okay. You need to quit doing this in your car.
I have to, man. I'm sorry. My days are very long.
I don't know. I'm hoping. It sounds like the owners are already going to turn down this deal from the players.
Yeah, it does.
My brother says that there's going to be a season. I don't know how, but he's closer involved than I am. He's a bigger baseball nut than I am.
I do think there will be a season. I think they are eventually going to agree. I don't think it's going to be a full lockout. It's just, I don't know, man.
It's not going to, obviously it's not going to be a full season at this point. I think they'll be lucky to get 60 games.
They're not taking care of their fans.
Yeah.
Which is what professional sports leagues should do, man. That it's an entertainment. Like, we give you our money to entertain us, and you're fucking, you play casual sport for a living. Go fucking swing your baseball bat. Like, it's pissing me off at this point, seriously.
Yeah, you say it best. If you're a left fielder, do you know how many balls are hit your way in a game?
There's going to be days you won't move. You'll go 0 for 4 and get one pop fly to left field, and that was your day.
It's not like you're a center fielder. Center fielders are constantly moving, Yeah. But, yeah, there are some games you do not move. Catcher is a horrible position to play, but they do not move. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm tired of waking up to this proposal was turned down. There's not going to be a counter proposal, but there's always a counter proposal. So I don't know. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it. I want a sport. I'm going to the beach next month. I want a sport to be on while I'm at the beach. I can only take my family so much. I need an alcoholic beverage in my hand. I need the sound of the waves hitting the the beach. While baseball, hockey, I'll take basketball even. That's just my 2 cents though.
Basketball's coming though, end of July, or maybe not.
I don't know. Did you see what happened with Kyrie Irving? He's backing out, right?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I've always felt that, and dude, who knows? Maybe Kyrie's being 100% genuine, but I always felt that Kyrie cared more about being, basketball was just something that took him where he actually wanted to go. He never really cared about being a great basketball player. I really don't think he has. I think Kyrie, he gets hurt yearly. He makes his fucking $25 million and sits on the bench fucking, 40 games a season. That's what he does. But like I said, I'm not going to call him out and say, I mean, dude, if that's actually how you feel and that's a legitimate feeling, I mean, who am I to say no? But who knows, man? I can tell you one thing right now. Sorry, 1 second. 1 second. Fuck, I forget where I was going with that. What were we talking about, Shane?
Kyrie Irving.
Oh, I can tell you right now, if LeBron James wants to play, they're playing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Period. And I'm going to tell you right now, LeBron James knows he's in his mid-30s and he needs a couple more championships. He's going to play. They're going to play.
You're not wrong about that.
They're going to play.
You're not wrong about that. Did you see Kevin Durant's comments today or yesterday?
No, what he said
about Kyrie? He called Kyrie Irving a sellout.
No, he called Kendrick Perkins.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I apologize. The
Perkins
K's mixed me up.
Kyrie, yeah. I was gonna say, dude, that's not good.
So Kendrick Perkins called Kyrie Irving a sellout, and I think Durant agreed with him. Durant's involved somehow. I think he agreed with Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Kevin Durant does not have any right to call someone a sellout.
No, not at all. I think we all know that.
So what was the deal? I didn't really look. I meant to look. I didn't look. What was Dr. Fauci's comments today about football?
We might not have football. Like, dude.
No, we're having football season. Football runs this country. It is our sport. You're really going to tell Americans who have endured job loss, they've lost money, we're entering a really tough economic point right now. Granted, do they have the money to go to games? No, but you're really going to take away their football season and possibly tell them you can't go to games? I think that is the not end of the world. That is a recipe for
me.
That, yeah, for us. If there's a season, I'll be fine. If there's no fans, I don't really care. I'm not going to a game anytime soon. But if you start telling fans, though, there's not going to be football season, or even though I said I don't care, you can't go. Imagine Green Bay season ticket holders who, I don't know if you know this, James, in order to be a season ticket holder, you got to be on a wait list that's like 30 years.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you know that? Okay. Not everyone knows that. But you start telling Green Bay fans you can't come to games, that's a recipe for disaster. Not just Green Bay, every football fan.
Hold on. Sorry, my girl was calling me.
See, this is why you need a laptop.
I'm sorry, man, I'm driving, man. I've been fucking working all week. I'm sorry.
All right.
Time when I can. I'm sorry.
So we've kind of touched up on stuff. We just want to get something out there. This is something for me. This is kind of my final thoughts. I saved this just for last. So the inspiration for this came. I sent you a list of guys, top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL right now from NFL Network. I forget even who it was. And the top 10, in my opinion, was Fubar. Fucked up beyond all recognition. And you agreed with me. There were probably 5 dudes on that list who should not have been in the top 10. Maybe not quite that high, because I have since retracted. That is part of my final thoughts as well. I owe Dak Prescott an apology. After our last video, I said, I'm pretty sure, I didn't go back and look, but I'm pretty sure I said I would take 16 quarterbacks before Dak Prescott.
Yeah, that's a little steep.
I don't know if I said it. You even said you don't think I said it. I think I did, though.
I don't think you said that, because honestly, I think I would have corrected you, to be honest with you. I would have been like, come on,
It's maybe. I don't know. It sounds like I did. Either way, I still owe him an apology.
He's an
because
average talent with great intangibles, which is going to put you up well above 15. That's going to put you around 10.
Yeah. So, yeah, when I was creating my list, I had a hard time putting 16 dudes ahead of him. So I'm going to start things off. I didn't give my top 10. I gave my top 16. These are the dudes who I think are the top half of the league starters in the NFL. At number 16, I have our guy. We are a pro Josh Allen podcast, but I do have Josh Allen at 16. His numbers really aren't very good. His completion percentage is 55%. He's under 7 yards per attempt, which 7.5 is a good number. You know, if you're at 7.5, that's a good number. Anything above, that's great. He's got 21 interceptions. His passer rating is below 80. Anything below 90 is not good. The thing with Josh Allen, though, is I think, one, he took a huge step forward from year 1 to year 2. And anything he can't do in the passing game, he does do well in the running game. He's got over 1,000 yards rushing the last 2 years. So this year will be more telling. Tom Brady's out of that division. They add Stephon Diggs. I think it'll be better. They did a decent job last year at the offensive line after releasing a bunch of veterans. If he can't win the division this year, I'm not sure Buffalo will give him a new contract.
Yeah, agreed.
So Jared, and then number 15, I have Jared Goff. If this were 2 years ago, I'd have Jared Goff much higher, but he really regressed last year. That's basically my point. But he still has a completion percentage over 60%, almost 8 in yards per attempt. But last year he had 22 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Without a healthy Gurley, I think we might have seen the real Jared Goff.
Yeah.
And granted, his offensive line isn't great either. But he strikes me as a guy who, like some of these other dudes from the 11 to 16 range, if they don't have everything going for them, going well, their numbers are going to struggle, and they're going to struggle.
He's literally like a polar opposite of Dak Prescott, where I say he's a really good quarterback talent, arm talent, and all that, but he's missing a lot of the intangibles. I don't think he's necessarily a super leader. I don't think people look at him and think he's like, all right, Jared, like, put us on your back, let's go get.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not like, and a lot of these guys, I'm not scared of Josh Allen right now. I do love Josh Allen though. But yeah, Jared Goff is another guy I'm not really scared of.
Yeah, exactly. Same.
So
when he's hot and things are clicking, he can give you 400 yards.
Yeah. But even then, I still feel like he got a shot depending on how well your team's, your offense is playing.
Yes. Yep.
At number 14, see, this is where though I just say that now I'm kind of proving my point wrong. But Matt Stafford at number 14, we both agree Stafford's very underrated. I got his numbers here. His completion percentage is over 65. His yards per attempt are right at 7.5, which is what I said, the magic number. 125 touchdowns, 49 interceptions, and that's in the last 72 games. And his passer rating is 97. So unlike what I just said about Jared Goff, I am, as a Green Bay fan, a little scared to play Matt Stafford every year because he does perform well. You never know what you're going to get from him. He might go out there and sling 500 yards and, score 30 points on you. Then he might go out there and throw 3 interceptions. Not so much that, but you just never really know. I do think, though, Matt Stafford's very underrated.
I do too.
So moving on.
Let me put it to you like this. Probably a top 5 talent in the quarterback-wise.
I know, you'll point at his postseason record, which I think is 0-3. But come on, like Detroit hasn't given him anything.
I was gonna say it's hard to judge somebody
outside of Calvin Johnson. He really has not had a world beater on offense. His offensive lines have been subpar. Has never had a good run game.
Or coach.
Subpar coach. Although I don't think
okay.
he was all right. Who was the other guy that they had hired him after?
It was Schwartz,
Caldwell's who I'm thinking of. Caldwell's not horrible, but. Yeah, Patricia hasn't done him any favors. So at number 13, I got Jimmy Garoppolo. And I want to go ahead and say, I'm still not sure we've seen the very best of Garoppolo. He's only played in 31 games. And his numbers are actually pretty good. His completion percentage is over 66. His yards per attempt is 8.3. His passer rating is over 100. The problem is his touchdowns aren't very high. It's only 43. He's thrown 21 interceptions. So basically every time he goes out there, he's throwing 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but he's very accurate. I think I saw some weakness to his game. He clearly doesn't like to have people in his face when they're blitzing. And who knows, maybe some of that last year was Shanahan protecting him some because he was coming off an injury. Who knows? We might see a different one. What's up?
That's a good point. I honestly think that's a good point. Maybe Shanahan kind of had some training wheels on a little bit.
Maybe, and that's what I would wish for. And that's the other thing I meant to say about Josh Allen. That's a good point, though. Training wheels. I think Josh Allen has been training wheeled up, and I like Sean McDermott. I think he's a really good coach, but I think he's a defensive guy, and I think his offensive style is just training wheels. Try not to kill me in our defense.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what happens this year because I think Garoppolo has a chance to elevate himself and be, a top 10 quarterback. So at number 12, and this might have some controversy, as Pat McAfee would say, but I'm telling you, this is just the beginning of my controversy. Is Ben Roethlisberger. So I don't know if you know this, James, but Ben Roethlisberger in the last 4 years has 59 interceptions.
Damn.
I know. 112 touchdowns, 59 interceptions. Everything else about his stats are fine. 65% completion percentage, passer rating of about 95, 7.7 yards per attempt, but 59 interceptions. I mean,
I did not know that.
Yeah, I know. And he's coming off an injury. He might be good, but I'm not really buying it. I think his best, obviously his window I think is closed, but I'm not sure. Even when he's back, he'll be the same Big Ben.
Agreed. I agree. That's probably around where I'd put him. Maybe like 1 or 2 higher. But yeah.
Number 11, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, I think, gets some unfair treatment because his numbers are pretty good. His completion percentage is at 68. His yards per attempt are 7.7. Passer rating about 100. I don't get the Kirk Cousins hype. I know he's never won a primetime game. I know he doesn't win very many big games.
I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of, not all of it obviously, he still has a lot to prove, but a lot of my Kirk hate went out the door when he beat the Saints in the Super Bowl.
And he wasn't that bad in that game. The problem is...
Dude, he threw a game-winning walk-off touchdown.
Exactly. He needs to do it, obviously more consistently. He needs to do it, though, when Dalvin Cook's not playing very well, too.
Agreed.
And again, like Garoppolo and Josh Allen, take the training wheels off. Again, another defensive... I know Garoppolo's not, but Josh Allen is. In a defensive style system. Mike Zimmer, take the training wheels off. Let him go out there and throw the ball a little bit. I mean, I remember they played in Green Bay, and he had, I think, 10 passing attempts. Or maybe that was week 1. I don't remember. But take the training wheels off. Let him go out there and throw the ball.
Yep.
All right, so this is how I owe Dak Prescott an apology, because he's right here at number 10. And I think that's fair.
That's fair.
When I was coming up with this list, I was like, oh, he's way more down. Then I'm like, he's better than Cousins. I think he's better than Roethlisberger. He's better than Garoppolo. Everything about his game is fine.
Is he better than Cousins? Tell me how. How's he better than Cousins? Why? He doesn't have better stats. He has...
Let me look. Hang on. I got his numbers here somewhere.
He has... And not that Kirk Cousins hasn't had a stacked team, but I think Dak has too. And Kirk's put up better shit.
Their numbers, honestly, are about the same. Kirk's completion percentage is a little bit more. His yards per attempt is 1 fraction higher.
Now, I definitely know you can make that argument that he's better. I'm just saying, though.
Passer rating is about the same. You might be right.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. I'm more scared to play Dak Prescott than Kirk Cousins. I still think Kirk Cousins has this allure about him that he's a very beatable guy.
That's very true, but Kirk Cousins has actually historically led the Eagles.
Do what? So I didn't hear that.
Kirk Cousins has actually kicked the shit out of the Eagles almost every time he's played them. Redskins or Vikings.
I know, and I'm guilty of that allure. Part of the reason why
there's a stigma around Kirk Cousins, and honestly, I think that you know how, like, not even just in sports, but that stigma, it's hard for them to break it. Like, you know, people still say LeBron isn't clutch, and it's like, dude, like, that shit fucking went away like 8 years ago. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Once you get that, like, get that in your, you know, that connotation to your name, it's hard to get rid of it. I think Kirk is gonna.
You make a very good point though. Cousins might be better. He might be a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah. I think I had Cousins at 10 personally. If you remember my list.
I think so. You did, yeah.
I had Dak above him though, so I can't. Like, I'm just saying, I can make that argument.
Their numbers honestly are about the same. Cousins has more touchdowns and interceptions just because I went by, at least on mine, and he's been in the league longer. But
yeah.
So number 9, I know this is gonna get some hate or backlash, but number 9 is Tom Brady. So, we've talked about this a little bit, but Brady's numbers last year, he posted his lowest completion percentage since 2013. He posted his lowest yards per attempt since 2013. He posted his lowest touchdowns, or amount of touchdowns, since 2013, and his lowest passer rating since 2013. I think he has entered his decline, which Father Time is undefeated. We've said this on the show. I have said he's going to decline at some point, and I think we've seen it. Now, granted, I think his numbers are going to be much better in Tampa. Bruce Arians is a good coach. He's got the weapons. But I think we could very well see, I'm not sure he's still quite the same. But he still obviously he's still Brady. He's still got his rings, so he's worthy of the top 10. I don't know. I gotta see him back to where he was in 2017 when he won MVP. That's me though. So at number 8, I got Matt Ryan, who, in my opinion, might be just consistently good. Like, if you could just have a flat line of good, it's Matt Ryan.
Very good B-plus player.
Outside of 2016 when he was off the charts good, he's just been consistently good. His numbers, 65% completion percentage, 7.5 yards per attempt, over 300 touchdowns, 94 passer rating. He's just consistently good. Just flatlined it good. At number 7, this is where I talked to you, James, or I texted you yesterday. I owe Drew Brees an apology. Because I had him at 10 originally, until I saw his numbers the last 3 years.
I mean, dude, he almost won the MVP in 2018.
I didn't know that. I mean, his numbers in his last 42 games, his completion percentage is over 73%. His yards per attempt is over 8. His passer rating is at 111.
It's insane.
Yeah, he's been I didn't know he was nearly that his numbers are that good. But he has disappeared somewhat in the postseason. His yards per attempt are way down. His passer rating's way down in the postseason, which is going to happen, but he also has thrown 6 interceptions in his last 5 postseason games. So, people want to give Aaron Rodgers shit, but his numbers in the postseason last year were better than Brees in the last 5 years. Which is why, at number 6, I have Aaron Rodgers. So, but I'm close to dropping him even further. And I love Aaron Rodgers with all my heart. But his yards per attempt is not very good. His passer rating has been down significantly the last 5 years. He used to be over 100 consistently every year. Now he's at 97 the last 5 years. And his completion percentage down. He's down to 63. He's led the league in throwaways too, I think, the last 2 years. So if I get another year of that from Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to fall even further to like 10, 11, somewhere in there. But I would still put him up there at number 6. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
So then we enter my top 5. At number 5, I got Deshaun Watson, who, do you know, did I text you this the other day? He's been sacked 106 times the last 2 years.
We haven't even seen, I don't think we've even seen 75% as good as Deshaun Watson can be.
And he's been hurt. He got hurt his rookie year. 106 times. That's insane.
It's
That's
surprising.
insane.
Like walking, honestly. honestly, dude.
He was
'Cause he's not
sacked
a big dude.
62, I think it was 62 times 2 years ago.
He's not a big dude either.
And he runs. He can run, and he's still getting sacked. And his numbers are still very good.
Yep.
So I agree. I think we have not yet begun to see how good Deshaun Watson is because he's running for his life back there.
I legitimately think, and I don't know this because of obviously Patrick Mahomes is still really young, but I think he has like best quarterback in the league's ceiling.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever get there, but I do.
No, I agree. I mean, again, sacked 106 times. If I would have no issue ranking him higher. The issue is the guys I have in front of him have hardware, have rings, so I have no issue with that. Number 4, I got Lamar Jackson. I think you can easily rank him higher, but I got to see him in the postseason perform better in the postseason. He's 0-2, hasn't played particularly well in either game. Granted, one of those he was a rookie, so it's not really fair. But I still feel like he was, reigning MVP. Top 5 is more than fair.
Agreed.
Number 3, everyone's not going to like this. I know you're going to like it because I texted you my list. It's Carson Wentz. I am sick and tired of the Carson Wentz bashing. In his last 40 starts, his completion percentage is a little less than 65. His yards per attempt is less than 7.5, but look who he was throwing to last year. He's got 81 touchdowns. His passer rating is at 99. Threw to practice squad players last year and still won their division. Those final 4 games, which was not an easy stretch, they won all 4. Some of those games convincingly.
Yeah.
And he was throwing to nobody. He also, I saw a graphic, you liked it, retweeted it, something. It said he had the most drops last year, am I not correct? Had the most drops on third.
I think Dak actually had more drops, funny enough, but Carson Wentz
I know it was more drops on 3rd and 4th down.
Exactly. I was going to say, dude, if a drop on 4th down isn't the same as a drop on 2nd down in the first quarter.
And a lot of those were touchdowns, is what the graphic said.
I mean, dude, some of them were game-winning touchdowns. I mean,
yeah.
I know it was still week 2, but I still can't get over. I mean, Carson Wentz literally threw a walk-off touchdown to Nelson Aguilar, and he fucking dropped it, dude. That's 10-6 right there. That's 10-6 right there, and I can easily. I mean, dude, the Lions they should have beat. That's 11-5, but it's like obviously they probably won a couple games they shouldn't have won, like Green Bay and stuff like that. But they, dude, I'm telling you, Carson Wentz is underrated. If your argument against him is that he gets hurt.
I think that's. I was just about to say. I think that's a fair argument.
Exactly, but dude, if you're trying to say that he's like actually not good, like you legitimately don't watch football or know anything about football. I mean, it's just a fact. I mean, dude, he threw for 4,000 yards and 27 TDs last year. That is like top 10 quarterback numbers, and he didn't have anybody. I mean, Miles Sanders came on late. Zach Ertz actually missed a couple games.
When Zach Ertz is leading your team in yards and receptions, a tight end, that's not good.
No, that's not good at all. And yeah, I mean, I personally had him at I think I had him at 7, which I think is fair. But dude,
that's ridiculous, James. That's ridiculous. I can't believe I like Carson Wentz more than you.
No, that's not true. I just don't like to be a homer.
One of my friends is has asked me, what is with your love affair with Carson Wentz? I love the man. I love him as much probably as you do. And he's good. Carson Wentz is good.
Yes.
He's not just good. He's great, but I'll settle for
great.
Good.
Undeniably talented. Undeniably.
And he might not even be the best North Dakota State quarterback to come out in the last 5 years.
I know. That next kid that's coming out is about to be
Trey Lance. I'm telling y'all, watch out for him next year. He very well could challenge, I think, Trevor Lawrence for the top quarterback in the class.
Yeah. And then we all know what your 2 and 1 are here.
Yeah, 1 and 2, very easy. At number 2, I got Russell Wilson. I think even I was shocked by his numbers. I mean, 65% passer rating, 7.8 yards per attempt, 155 touchdowns, 103 passer rating in the last 5 years. I remember saying it after they won the Super Bowl. At the time, after they won the Super Bowl, I said he was a top 5 quarterback. People laughed at me. Maybe except you. And now everyone's on board with me. They're like, oh yeah, he's top 5. Duh. I've been saying it for 7 years.
Dude, in my opinion, and obviously, dude, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is so absolutely ridiculous that I don't know how good of an argument I can make, but I think I can make a half-decent, convincing argument that Russell Wilson's the best.
Dude, I think, aside from the fact, like you said, Mahomes is so ungodly ridiculously good, I think you have a fair argument. This team, even including myself, doubted Seattle last year. I thought this team was rebuilding. I wasn't sure if Russell Wilson was really capable of leading them. And they have gotten rid of all those Legion of Boom guys, everyone on that defense, and they still make the playoffs fairly consistently. And Pete Carroll's a good coach. He's not anything special to lead this team to the playoffs. It's not like it's Kyle Shanahan leading the team.
Yeah,
or, Andy Reid or Bill Belichick. Pete Carroll's a solid coach, but they are winning because of Russell Wilson. I'm like him and Carson Wentz. I'm very passionate about.
Me too.
Number one, again, another guy I'm very passionate about, Patrick Mahomes. I said it after his 2018 season. That's the best quarterback in the league.
It's the best quarterback I've ever
I had zero. Everyone thought I still was like, you still think Aaron Rodgers is the best. I'm like, dude, I haven't thought Aaron Rodgers is the best since like 2018.
Yeah.
It's Patrick Mahomes, and I gladly gave that up. I'm like, it ain't Rodgers anymore. It's Mahomes by a long shot.
You can't even argue at this point, honestly.
It's Mahomes. I've never seen a gap like this. Like, at least when Brady was around, you had Manning, you had Rodgers, you could kind of make an argument. But Mahomes, Wilson's nowhere close. Wentz is nowhere close, even though I love him. Lamar Jackson, maybe. We don't know. Right now? Not right now. Deshaun Watson, hard maybe.
Some things that will set him apart from absolutely everybody. Obviously, he's just absolutely electric, and he's honestly has one of the better feels for the game. Like, he had a much better feel for the game than I thought. I always just thought, like...
Did you know he rushed for over 1,000 yards last year? Lamar Jackson? Threw for about 4,000, rushed for 1,000.
Yes!
It's insane.
Insane.
But yeah, I agree. Mahomes is so off the charts. The only ones I think could make an argument are... I think we've pretty much seen peak Russell Wilson. Maybe Wentz. But Lamar Jackson, I think, and Deshaun Watson are the only ones. Deshaun Watson's talent alone, I think, could put him up there with Mahomes.
Agreed.
If Houston can get its act together and get him an offensive line and a better coach, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bill O'Brien is not it, man.
All right. So pretty much you agreed with my list. Is there anyone that wasn't on my list you would have put up there?
No, I don't think so. You know who I think is not only going to be in that top 16, but potentially top 10 after this year? Yes.
Oh, Kyler Murray. I know. We're both very high on Kyler Murray. I like Kyler Murray.
Dude, beast. That kid is a fucking beast. I watched him play. Like, for some reason, they had like quite a few primetime games last year. Or maybe not primetime, but like games that I could watch on TV. And I saw him play like 4 games. Dude, I don't know how the hell he throws an NFL football like that, being that size, dude. It fucking like rips out of his fingers, dude.
I wasn't at the game, but the moment I bought into Kyler Murray was the game in Morgantown. He came up here and just ripped West Virginia apart defensively. Granted, the defense wasn't that great to begin with, but I was like, he's averaging like 12 yards per play. Yeah. We have no answer for him. We did make him throw an interception, and I think he had a fumble. No, maybe 2 interceptions, but they still scored 59 points. Yeah. And I was like, this dude is gonna make it in the league.
Yeah, he is.
In the right system, this dude's gonna make it.
Exactly. He's just like Lamar, where it's like you can't just throw him on all 32 teams and think he's going to be MVP caliber. But it's like, dude, you get him on the right team with the right coach that knows his skill set.
And I'm still not sure Cliff Kingsbury is the right coach for him or the right system. But you can't deny his quarterback development. He did it at Texas Tech. He's done it everywhere. And that's why I think he got the job. Is they were going to take a young quarterback. They were, I think, hoping for Josh Rosen, and then they really liked Kyler Murray and just took him instead. And now here we are. All right, I don't have anything else, my man.
That's me. I want to do a top 16 list next time when I can prepare for it a little bit. I want to look at some stuff and compare ours to see how close they are.
Yeah.
I think we'll have probably like 15 out of the 16 same players, but I think they'll be in like quite a different order outside of the top 2. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. But sounds good, buddy. I'll see you.
Do it. We'll do it next week.
Sounds good, man.
All right, man. Later.
All right, later, brother.